That's right, Jake. It is time for Thea to the Shattering. Welcome back to the Nose Plays. We are going to continue our Ultimate 2021 guide to Thea to the Shattering. This is a beginner's guide. This guide is not geared towards expert play, but instead towards a deep dive into the mechanics of the game. So I'll be providing a lot of commentary on the mechanics and some of the early strategies that I generally use to have successful playthroughs in Thea to the Shattering. However, if you've been following the series, you know that sometimes Fate has different designs for you. So we're going to go ahead and... Actually, no, we're not going to continue. What am I doing? I think this is going to load the game right before we died last time, which is not going to help us at all because we're still going to die. So we're just going to save and quit and start a new game. Okay, so I did not see any comments on what god that we should play through this particular time. I do have 7 god points available, which is not enough to unlock a new god. So I think instead of playing one that I generally play, we'll just play this character again, Svarog. And I might even run the same party. The only thing I'm thinking of doing differently is instead of starting with 30 to 50 basic mats, maybe start with 40 basic supplies. This would include food, fuel, and herbs, which are all things that basically led to our demise in the last game. It was a particularly bad roll in terms of map generation and then just stuff. We got hit with the solar flare right as we went starving. It was bad. But we're going to try this again, and I think I'm going to make my apprentice child, the warrior child, the nose again. Okay, so we've got a warrior, we've got a craftsman, we've got an apprentice warrior and an apprentice hunter. Assuming we survive a little bit into the game, we should have a really reasonable force for fighting small things. We'll just do the basic map generation settings. And off we go. Alright, so we got a little bit of food, a little bit of wood. Once again, not a single gathering tile anywhere in visible sight. Let's go ahead and zoom in on the map. You can see that the island generated quite a bit differently this time. It is still split into 2 portions, but the smaller portion is over here and we are not on it. So that's good for us. There's more territory. That means more potential for gathering sites. And remember, we aren't particularly good gatherers, so kind of thinking we need to go north and sort of explore this big region up here. So I'm going to just move 1 tile at a time, yeah. Okay, that gave me a lot of information. So this is going to be a pretty safe base of operations. If we do get into a similar situation to last time, as long as we can get back to these tiles here, we can get wood and we can get food to get us back on track. It's almost in our best interest to just jump over here and start gathering and build a little bit of a stockpile, maybe. I don't think we need to necessarily do that on turn 1, though, and I could get more of the map uncovered, useful map, by moving to this tile. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, cool. This is a really important resource, as I've pointed out in the past. Looks like we got clay, bone, topaz, sandstone, vegetables, wood, and meat, all in our immediate vicinity. The topaz could lead to some really good gathering tools if we can gather enough of it, and that's going to be the trick. We may have to wait until spring or summer to really gather enough stuff. All right, let's take a look at our inventory. Looks like we did start with a crafting tool and a little bit of food that we can actually... Ooh, some vegetables too. Okay. And quite a lot of vegetables, to be perfectly honest. That's actually not bad. We could multiply that significantly if we were to take an early advancement point into the vegetarian meals. Okay, so let's go to equipment and let's go ahead and get these tools on our craftsman, which is this chick here. And then let's take a look at the equipment. So we got an iron crossbow rolled for our archer, soon to be hunter kid. A leather artifact and some iron armor for our craftsman. And then we have 2 warriors. One with a club and a shield, another with a bone hatchet and a shield. I do like the hatchets. Axes are really good early game weapons, as I mentioned. So the bone shield's actually a better weapon, but this is... I want to move the armor to the character that's most likely going to be in combat. She's got the best weapon. She's going to be doing most of the fighting if we do get into any fighting. So I like that for now. This character won't be doing a lot of fighting, and if they do, it will be in yellow or purple combats where the armor is not very useful. So that's the first thing we want to do. The next thing I want to do is consider whether we want to turn off any of these foods. I actually do. And the reason I do is because right now we have enough food or enough meat to make 2 batches of a cooked food item. But if we accidentally eat too much of this, we won't be able to. So turning this off is probably okay. We can eat some of the seaweed for now, for just a turn. We're going to go ahead and set up camp and get some of that cooking done. And we'll be crafting 2 batches of this, and I can go ahead and check this to make it a favorite. So now it will show up in my favorites bar. And then our craftsman is really the only character we need to get this done, but I'll go ahead and throw another one on here. And we'll just throw these guys over here for now. And this is kind of irrelevant, but you never know. Alright, so we got 2 batches of the... whatever these are called, the Rolandas or Roladas? Roladas? Yeah. And now we're down to 1 meat and 13 berries. So we can't make any more of these. So we can go ahead and probably enable that. Do I want to try to save this seaweed to make a bunch of vegetable meals? I mean, the food really did kick our ass last time. Maybe I do. We actually have a point right now. Let's go ahead and do it. Alright, we can move wherever we want to move to. I'm thinking probably just stockpile a bunch of meat. And if we're going to stockpile meat, I should probably disable the berries so that we can use the berries to craft more of those food items. So let's go and break camp. Let's move over here after all for a little while, and let's just kind of set up a stockpile of goodies. We're not good gatherers, so this isn't going to be great. I'm going to need her for the crafting. So let's put you two here, and you two there. So every 4 turns we'll get a little bit. And then food-wise... so we do 4 or 5 of these. Can I... Does it make more sense to, like, break them up like this? This gets us wood every 3 turns instead of 4. Let's do that. And we'll spend, I guess, at least 4 turns here. That's good. The abandoned house is up here. Let's... Cool, got a whole bunch of those now. She can still make a little bit more of that, so I'm going to leave her there, obviously. And I did forget to turn that into a favorite, so let's go ahead and do that. So now it shows up here as well. Alright, so that's going to solve some of our food issues, or at least early game issues. Now, she can't craft anymore, so I can take her out of here. And we can put her on gathering. And the more important goodie is going to be up here, but that doesn't really help. Okay, so we'll finish 3 turns of gathering. We'll get some more meat and some amount of wood. Alright, can I improve this while not... foods yet. There we go. So we'll get all of these done in 1 turn, try to maximize our gathering for those 3 turns. And now we have enough to go do Theodore's camp. Accept that outcome. I'm not going to fight that battle. We've done it too many times. Just a little bit of damage, nothing too bad. Herbs are good because we can make more food items from that. Leather robes are okay. Let's take a look at equipment. Okay, so there's 2 thoughts on this item. Because it provides shielding in all 3 combats, putting it on this character is not a terrible idea because she's the most likely to end up in a combat outside of red. However, It's more likely that we're always going to focus on red, and having 2 warriors with more shielding is probably more beneficial because it's easier to place both of them without taking any damage. So we'll go ahead and do that for now. I have had no movement points left. We can gather some more meat from this tile, and it's only going to take 3 whole turns. How many cooking I can do? Yes. And actually we have more cooking we can do because of this. Alright, so I can cook 1 batch of something, because we only have 9 meats. If we put those 2 there and him there, that should be good. An important task. Yes, good. Got another point here. We got a character who leveled up. Ivana. Ivana's a warrior. Interesting. She rolled really bad for her stats. Let's take a look at her character sheet and see if she has any special abilities. She's got good luck, she's got battle orders. These are pretty bad. And then brute force. Brute force does use intelligence. So having another point in that might be worthwhile. Perception does help her gathering stat, and it does give her health. And I guess I'm leaning towards that, but this would also be okay. This is probably the worst one. Alright, we have another advancement point. As far as materials, yeah, we just don't have a lot. I don't have enough of that to make anything with it, so we're gonna go and do that. And I could save this. Yeah, we should probably save the berries and save the coal for now. So they're done. Back to gathering. I can't gather any faster than that. I can put those 2 on research, but that doesn't really help me all that much. I'll put these 2 on research instead. Alright, so this is actually kind of good. We can fight this snake. An easy way to do that is to go to the inventory page, grab a character who's not currently doing anything, pull them out, make sure you select that single character in Expedition 2 before you try moving them. And because we're close enough to our campsite, all of our members will get to participate in this fight. That should be no problem. Not sure why that character keeps taking damage. We probably should do those manually, but... Okay, and we're getting the no food and no fuel alert. That's strictly because this character needs to be placed in a party. So as soon as we recombine her back to this party, which does not take any movement points to do, that error goes away. If we were going to take her out and wander her around solo, well, we would want to make sure she's equipped with food and fuel, but... Okay, so that didn't really provide us much, unfortunately. one turn away from getting this completed. She actually has higher gathering now than either of these two. That's because of those perception points, is my assumption. Alright, the rest of my characters leveled up. This chick definitely wants strength. He would want strength, although he did not roll it. For a combat-based character, wits is okay to take. Probably better than mysticism or wisdom. Mysticism might be okay for the brute force ability, if nothing else. And perception is also reasonably good on him if I ever want to use double tossed, although I can't see a reason why I would. Not too many anyways. This character definitely wants the perception. Hunters love perception. And this character benefits a lot from wisdom and intelligence. 2 points of intelligence is probably worth taking, but just to be sure, yeah. Her weapon is destiny and wisdom. So if I wanted to make her weapon better, I would take the wisdom point. So yeah, let's just do that then. Both improve crafting. Alright. 2 turns away from more food. Since we did get food, we should be able to craft some more meals. So again, I'm at 9 food. Which only lets me craft 1. I have 9 of these and 10 of these, so they're basically equal. Do that. Now we're gonna break camp. Yeah, 7 turns away. That's too long to wait. Go ahead and break camp. We've got 23 turns of food. More if I enable that. Less if I disable both of these, so we can craft more, which we should do. Craft some more of those here in a moment. So there's an interesting location over here and a quest thing up here, which we can do. The wind is also really bad. This messed us up in one of my playthroughs. Losing too much faith will be a problem. Losing a little bit of faith is not that big a deal. The problem is the number of turns that this lasts can be so long that it actually causes your children to start to perish. Which is a problem. I don't have enough gather that and craft some of those. Just make sure that everybody's doing something. We should be able to attack this. I'm gonna manually do these. I'm taking a little bit of damage for no reason, I don't think. I mean, maybe not, but this character's really strong. Interesting. So this is a situation where we actually have an ability that makes more sense to use. Headbutt is slightly faster than our normal axe swing. It does less damage at only 10, but it does add 2 to the timer of the thing if it survives, which it won't, so it's kind of irrelevant. It's a slightly faster attack. I think in this case I'm still going to use my axe. I don't think it matters since we can't act before this thing gets to fight anyways. And then we can go ahead and throw this chick out, and she's got 2 attacks. She's got a hammer attack, and that's what this symbol, the hammer attack, is the T-splash. The sword attack is only a single attack. It attacks a single enemy. No AoE at all on that particular weapon. It does slightly more damage though if we swing it this way. So single target does slightly more damage than the splash attack if the splash attack doesn't hit anything. But because putting her in this position gives her a really good chance to splash, I'm going to throw her out. Okay. Did we get any good abilities for these characters? Not really. So this is only going to do 8 damage. I need a pretty fast attack. This would be at 9. I need something faster than 8.5 in order to kill that. I just don't think we have anything that quick. Actually, we do. That'll be 2 damage to this character, and that should kill them both in 1 round. Alright, again, the purple symbol at the top of this card shows that these are a duplicate, so any damage to one of these 2 cards will also damage the other. So that's good to know. And then we have the ability to cast extra 6 shielding or an extra 5 shielding. So we'll go ahead and use the 6 shielding and just buff both those characters' shields. And that should be good enough. Yeah, there's really no point in putting this character out. But I guess I could stick it over here. And we have 1 point. I'm not going to put her out, so we'll just skip that point. We should take basically no damage. Which character is this? This is the toss. Okay, so I want the toss to go over here. But I have to target this character. That's a problem. The splash should actually maybe be enough. Nope. It's a good thing we put this character out then, because this actually is going to help now. Otherwise, her attack wouldn't have killed this, and it would have gotten 1 more action. Beetle Honey we can use. And a Physical Blessing on our Chosen. Let's take a look at our cooking. So we're tied up in cooking, however... we needed 1 more, so... Beetle Jelly counts as a protein. We could go ahead and create the recipes for pudding and spiced jelly in case we get more beetle jelly later. And now they'll show up over here. And then don't forget the button down in the bottom of that favorites menu will disable anything you're unable to fix currently. So that's pretty helpful. These characters don't need to be cooking since there's nothing left to cook. Is there anything we can craft? Actually, there is something we could craft. but it would take up our wood. We don't really have the wood to do that yet. If I can get a source of leather, we could build something like this or this. With the 20 amber that we currently have in our possession, that might be worthwhile. Gathering tools are definitely a weakness of this party, or a lack of gathering tools, I should say. Alright, just to double check here, we got one turn to get that. Alright, low faith alert. So this is where we have a problem. So now this character's faith is so low that instead of losing further faith points, they're going to start to basically take a dot or bleed damage on their health. And once their health bar gets low enough, they'll actually have to start rolling against death checks, which is problematic. There is the potential to run a ritual which will heal your faith. And we can almost do it. Actually, I do have the materials to pull this off. The thing is, it's only a problem if this wind continues for multiple more turns. If the wind dies off in 1 or 2 turns, it's probably not going to kill any of my characters. But if it doesn't, we could be in for a real problem. One thing to note about these rituals, they have generic and then they have specific types. So when you're crafting this, you could use any 35 wood you want, but if you happen to have 5 specifically dryad wood, you can only use 5 dryad wood. Also, the same with the bones, the wild resource bones, ebony bones, I think is what they're called, or something like that. You could use 5 of those, but you can't use any other bone types. Only those for these 2 tiles. They're specific. While the other tiles are generic, so any type of gem, any type of wood. And that can be a little confusing to new players. So definitely pay attention to whether a tile is specific or whether it's generic. And I don't know a good way of explaining how you figure that out other than through experience. Obviously this one is the picture of the dryad wood, and this one is the picture of the night bone, ebony bone. But there are other times where it's not as clear. Here's another example down at the bottom of the screen here. Any protein, this is any protein. This is fish, this is jelly, anything that's considered a protein can go here, but only fish can go in this slot. And I guess one of the ways you can figure it out is that as you mouse over stuff, it will highlight whether that is actually an ingredient. So you can see that this meat will also highlight when I mouse over the beetle jelly and the meat, but the fish will only highlight when you pick fish. I'm going to confirm this, but we're not actually going to put anybody here just yet. I'm going to wait a turn or 2, at least 2 turns. Okay. We've got to go do the curve game relatively quickly here. Let's take a look at my character sheets and see. Okay, so we're still losing faith. We haven't lost any health yet. If this character starts to lose health, I'm going to be a a little bit worried because they do not have a very large pool of it. I needed one more turn to collect. And this is a problem because now we don't have enough. But I think we're about to gather some more. Yeah. Okay. Let's break camp. Let's go do this point of interest. Skip the story. Convince. On. Do I have any movement points left? I don't have enough to get into that tile. From this position, we can gather both wood and fruits, which theoretically would keep you from dying in the wintertime. Although this is going to drop significantly since this is seasonal. Make it a lot harder to collect. Alright, we can see he started to lose health now. That is a big problem. This will be completed in 2 turns. That sucks because now I don't have the amber I need to build tools, but we'll look at that in a minute. I forgot to put anybody on gathering. Dang it. How much wood do we have? 12 turns of wood, 20 turns of food. Alright, you can see his health dropped again. Everybody else's is at about 50% or so. The Chosen's is getting pretty low. This will fix it. Right as it ended. So now you can see all of our faiths are mostly back to normal except for his. But we're not going to die. So that's good. Alright. So we got characters now. Let's pull everybody off and reassign them. That'll work 2 turns apiece. And still no food we can make. So we just throw them here for now. Alright, this is part of that main quest. We'll just kind of skip it. We're kind of like the turmoil, right? Yeah, let's just kill this guy. Alright. So, I should be able to send a character out and scout both of these 2 tiles without breaking camp. So the way we're going to do that is I'm going to take the one character that's not really doing anything useful and pull him out, and he is going to move and make sure we're on him. So group of 1, movement of 4. We're going to move him this direction first Scout the safer areas. Oh, very nice. We got a gathering tool and some sandstone. And then he has 2 movement left. That's not enough to get to this tile and back, so we'll just regroup him with the main group. Let's check our inventory equipment. And we can put this gathering tool on a character who's going to be doing a lot of gathering. Actually, I can't put it on my apprentice hunter because it's too heavy. So we'll stick it on one of these two. The one that I gave the perception points to is going to have the higher gathering stat. So we're probably going to have her on gathering more frequently. And that'll just make her a little bit better. And we really don't need... yeah, just her by herself can finish that now. And any character can finish that. Still no food items we can craft. I do want to save those berries for now. Okay. Do I have any other characters with movement? I think I do, actually. Yeah, she's got 5 movement. So we'll send her out. Search the ruins, resist. We'll accept that outcome. And she needs to move back. That's a problem. I can't get her to move back. So now I need to move somebody to her with food. Alright, well, this character I think has enough movement left to move over there. It says 2-0. Alright, who's gathering here? Those two are gathering, so this character, okay. Alright, let's take a little bit of food with him. That's good. What do you mean you have 0 movement? Oh, yeah, that character has 0 movement. But this character has 4. I'm a little confused here. What do I got going on? Expedition 3 should have 4 movement points. Expedition 3. Camp. Move there. Recombine. There we go. The no fuel alert's not that bad. It's just the no food alert that you'll start to lose health if you don't take care of that. So a little example of how to manipulate your party. and move them around in small groups. Make sure that when you do this, you are making sure the characters have food at a minimum, and if they're going to do any gathering, have wood. Also, make sure that you stay close to your campsites depending on your difficulty level. Higher difficulty levels require you to be closer together in order to participate in fights and stuff. Alright, we should be able to end this turn no problem, and just to verify, we are going to get both of these gathered in one turn. Just throw him on something. Okay, you stop to refill your water supplies, you find a fish, blah blah blah. Alright, so we have some options here. There are goldfish with magical properties. We can ignore the fish, we can help the fish, or we can eat the fish. I've done this quest a couple times. I don't remember all the different outcomes. I'm not sure that I've done all of the different options either. And being that we are kind of like having a difficulty time gathering food in particular, let's just go ahead and eat them. It was better than any fish you've ever tasted. There we go. New level for all of our characters. This character has 2 new class or skills, or whatever you want to call these, attributes. She's our craftsman. So, reliable argument is based on wisdom and is very powerful. However, she already has a wisdom weapon that's roughly equally as powerful. Gathering is just 3 points of gathering, and we suck at gathering, so this is actually probably more beneficial, while this is redundant. So I'm going to go ahead and take that one for her. This character is one of our warriors. She can just get more stats for free, or we can provide better shielding in combat. I think free stats is probably better for her. This is our chosen. Flying daggers is pretty meh, and we're rarely, if ever, going to use it. The luck roll is also kind of meh, but I think luck is more useful than this fast attack that we're probably not going to use very often. This character definitely doesn't need luck. Luck is primarily good for children when they're rolling for their job. It does affect a few other things, but not nearly enough to want to invest a lot of points into it. Poison throwing daggers is pretty bad, but it does allow for an alternative attack in yellow combats where we don't really get to use our normal weapons. So it might be worthwhile on rare occasions. And Darko, our hunter, we love Hunter's Mark. If you watch some of my earlier videos, you'll know I think very highly of this skill, and it can be used to great effect in certain scenarios. So we want to start working on that. Alright. Well, we're not dead yet, so that's a good sign. We are struggling a little bit. We did uncover some elven wood and some more fruit and a bunch of wood supplies. So already, map generation significantly better than the last time we tried to play. This is probably more typical of a start. Still a difficult start, and one that we're going to have trouble with. But I think if we can just get through this first winter, and then we can get to the topaz to get our basic light tools crafted, we'll be in a pretty good spot. So My plan at the moment is basically, what do we have? 17 more turns before winter. So I've got 17 turns to sort of stock up on whatever food items I can to help me get through the winter time. So we need to get extra fuel, extra food. We're going to stock up on those items as much as possible. And the way I'm going to do that is we're going to kind of make a little bit of a loop. So I'm going to head down here to the curve game, pick up this point of interest, maybe do some gathering here. But I want to work my way back to this tile by the end of turn 17. So that if in the rare event we're in a really bad spot, we can literally just sit here all winter long and gather meat and food to survive the first winter. Which can be pretty harsh if you don't have gatherers in your party early on to help you get good stockpiles. So we'll see how that goes, but I think I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. This was a good start. Difficult, but good. And we'll pick this one up maybe tomorrow. I'm not working tomorrow, so there's a good chance that we'll do part 2 of this particular playthrough tomorrow and see how it goes. I hope you're enjoying the series. If you are, leave it a like, give me a comment. If you have another game or another starting god you'd like me to try for Thea 2 before the expansion DLC comes out, let me know in the comment section, and I do read all the comments. Until next time, this has been The Nose Plays, and you guys have a good day.